Now we will begin the symposium with an opening lecture by the director of I²CNER. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our center director, Professor Petros Sofronis.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure and singular honor to be here before you and make the opening presentation for our International Institute. Today I feel privileged that we have a great number of internationally recognized scientists in this room from all over the world, from the United States, from Europe, from Germany, and this will give us an opportunity to make a showcase of our activities here before the representatives from the Science and Government Office of Japan, and of course for our distinguished guests from the US Embassy. So today I will not be technical. I will try somewhat to introduce the I²CNER activities, and the technical issues will be addressed by my colleagues from the University of Illinois, from Europe, and of course from Kyushu University. So I²CNER, as you see, has a wonderful logo, and the logo here, this is the hydrogen atom, this is the electron, as you see, the hydrogen electron, and there is the Satellite Institute, which is the University of Illinois, and as you see, the colors are blue and orange, the colors of the University of Illinois, so the designers knew about this. And at the same time, you see here, right, you see this dotted line, this is the Killing curve, the famous curve that represents the growth of the hydrogen concentration, of the CO2 concentration in the atmosphere. And as it increases at this point, in the year 2011, with the I²CNER Institute, it hits this wall, I²CNER, and then it's going to begin dropping. So as you see, we tried here to come up with an optimistic and enthusiastic logo. We are a member, as the former speaker, Professor Kuroki from JSPS told you, we are a member of the World Premier Initiative, and the objectives of this World Premier Initiative, as you see, are to advance cutting-edge research that will enable technology, and at the same time will create a research environment here at Kyushu University that aims at transforming the research university system through an institute in which the official language is in English. In fact, what I've done, I asked my assistants back at the University of Illinois to call here the administrative office and see whether they respond in English. So English is the official language, even in our telephone conversations between the US and the administrative office. And we are a member of this WPI family, and our institute aims at becoming the Green Institute, because we are aiming at the energy issues which are so pressing today at the beginning of the 21st century. So what are our goals? Our goals are to advance and enable the hydrogen-fueled society. We want to investigate, we want to explore and carry out fundamental science that will remove the roadblocks that prevent us from coming toward a hydrogen fuel society. For instance, we plan to investigate here, carry out basic research on next generation fuel cells. We want to come up with futuristic concepts about hydrogen production, green hydrogen production by using the sunlight. So this is our goal. Of course, this is a very ambitious goal, and this is for the future. At the same time, we understand that we need to deal with the present, and the present is we'd like to help in reducing the CO2 presence in the atmosphere. So we would like to explore issues, fundamental science issues that are related with carbon capture and sequestration. And we are going to investigate scientific phenomena that are related with interaction of gases, hydrogen and CO2 or oxygen, with materials, interfaces, material defects, and spanning enormous scales from the electron to the cosmos, as we say. And we will be dealing with phenomena of absorption, dissolution, diffusion, chemical reaction, exactly what we call fusion of science here. And we plan not only to carry out fundamental science research, but we also plan to hopefully enable technologies. And those technologies will be, for instance, as I said, next generation fuel cells. We want to enable technologies on hydrogen compression, for instance. These types of technologies are almost at primitive stages today. If we want to go into the hydrogen economy, we need to be able to compress and send hydrogen around our countries through the distribution networks. For instance, in the United States, we have about 1 million miles natural gas pipeline system. If we are to move to a hydrogen economy, we want to know whether we can use this network instead so that we can send hydrogen to our houses, to our homes, to our hospitals, to our universities, to anywhere in the society safely and reliably. We need compression technology. We need new materials. This is the types of technologies that hopefully our fundamental science research will enable 5–10 years down the road. How we started I²CNER? I²CNER started through this collaboration between Kyushu University and the University of Illinois. As you see here, Kyushu University is presenting us with a world-class academic environment and that is pushing the envelope on many aspects and many frontiers of advanced research. For instance, as you come in our campus here, the Kyushu campus, you will see one of the finest electron microscopes in the world. Those of you who are familiar with this technology, they have a microscope here, Kyushu University, of 1.8 mega electron volts. You can use this microscope and be able to even see through specimens that are almost 1 micron thick. Tremendous facility here at Kyushu University. At the same time, speaking of facilities, Kyushu University has Hydrogenius. Hydrogenius is the best equipped, the best funded laboratory for hydrogen research in the world. It is a laboratory where every scientist is dreaming to coming and carry out research. Perhaps Hydrogenius is the reason why we, the Americans, are here today, because it gave us the opportunity to come and visit Kyushu University and interact with the strong research team here at Kyushu University. So I²CNER started from this effort, an effort at Hydrogenius here and an effort in the United States, a collaboration between the University of Illinois, Sandia National Laboratories, and the University of Berkeley. So we have these 3 institutions in the United States that collaborated with Hydrogenius here in Japan, and out of this collaboration, I²CNER sprang off. Again, I would like, since coming from the University of Illinois, I want to take pride about the University of Illinois. As you see here are the ratings. The University of Illinois is rated as the 5th college in the 5th college of engineering in the United States. You see UC Berkeley is above us. We have a distinguished scientist here, the head of the material science from Berkeley University, Professor Rob Brizzi, is collaborating with us, even though we are on the 5th position. Of course, I would like to mention that at the University of Illinois, we have one of the leading projects in carbon capture and sequestration in the United States. And this is a great opportunity for I²CNER because it gives us the leverage here to use the resources, to use the expertise, to use the wisdom from this effort on carbon capture and sequestration. So you see, we joined forces here, the University of Illinois on hydrogen and carbon sequestration, and Kyushu University on hydrogen, on tremendous facilities, and so on and so forth. Unique opportunities. So the I²CNER technical activities, where we are planning to work. So we have the area of hydrogen. We plan to work on hydrogen storage materials. Hydrogen needs to be stored in order to be put on the fuel cell vehicle. We have here a strong group. Amongst the group, a distinguished visitor is Professor Slapback, a world authority in hydrogen storage, collaborating with Professor Akiba here at Kyushu University, and they are telling me they are aiming at achieving hydrogen storage capacities that surpass our expectations. Our expectations today are about 5–6% by weight. We want to make this happen here at I²CNER. We want to work on hydrogen structural materials, the compatibility of hydrogen and safety and reliability of hydrogen when it comes in contact with materials. We have a strong division, very strong division, I may say the strongest in the world, here in collaboration between Illinois, Sandia, Berkeley, and Kyushu. And this division is headed by a world-renowned scientist who is the chief scientist for hydrogen materials research at the Sandia National Laboratories in the United States, Dr. Sommerday, who is going to come to this podium and talk to you later in the afternoon. As you see, we are networked. We are division leaders, for instance, are foreigners here at Kyushu University. And of course, the next generation fuel cells, the associate director of I²CNER will talk to you about the next generation activities that are carried out here. I'm not going to indulge in this area. Professor Kazunari Sasaki will give you all details in his talk here. And then we are working on the carbon capture and sequestration. As I told you, the University of Illinois brings the expertise on sequestration. Dr. Robert Finlay, who is the director of our effort, already has engaged in discussions and exchange of ideas and viewpoints with faculty here at Kyushu University, not only of Kyushu, some visitors that came from Kyoto University to meet with him, so that to see how we can start the effort of sequestration here at Kyushu, always having in mind what is the relevance of this sequestration with regard to the Japanese nature, for instance, of the underground soil and capacities for storage and so on and so forth. So we are doing, in other words, a coordinated approach towards sequestration here, taking into account what is the nature of soil that, of Japan. And then we are working on hydrogen solar production. We plan to use sunlight in order to produce hydrogen. This is a totally green approach, as I would say, using the energy of the sunlight. We have the world experts here. We have already got the Illinois group to talking with the Kyushu group. We had meetings yesterday all morning between Kyushu researchers and Illinois researchers. I believe we've already started in this direction, and we are aiming at breakthroughs in this area too. And as you see, here we are talking about fusion of science that Professor Kuroki mentioned at his opening lecture. All science are here. Let me start with the science of mechanics, since this is my area. Materials, physics, geoscience, chemistry, electrochemistry, all sciences are here. And of course, we are spanning length scales and time scales, as I said, from the electron to cosmos, right? Everything is here, the fusion of time scales and length scales. The administrative structure of the institute, as you see here, it involves the main institute is here at Kyushu University. The associate director is Professor Kazunari Sasaki. who is going to give you an opening keynote lecture also. We have the Satellite Institute, which is being established right now as we talk. Pretty soon we will decide on the Associate Director for the Satellite Institute. And we have two important committees here. As you see, the first committee is the Steering Science Committee. This committee is constituted from the leaders of the thematic areas that I presented in my previous slide. And this is a committee that advises the director of the institute on how our institute proceeds and progresses. And at the same time, I believe this is a very important committee. I'm going to talk about this committee in my subsequent slide. This is the External Advisory Committee, is made from a group of internationally recognized scientists who will come here to KÜSU in 1 year, next year at the University of Illinois, and will review our activities, will give us its wisdom, will tell us direction X is good and needs to be pursued even further. Direction Y perhaps is not so fruitful to be pursued, therefore redirect course or reinforce course. So somewhat this External Advisory Committee will help guide us in proper territory and, of course, frequently, as we scientists expect, to pat us on the back and tell us, good job, you are doing great. Sometimes we need to hear these types of words. And this is the External Advisory Committee. I would like to announce it here for our kickoff symposium. It is, one member is Deborah Myers, is from a group leader in the Chemical Science and Engineering Division of the Argonne National Laboratory, which is in a suburb of Chicago at Illinois. The next member is Tetsuo Shotzi, who is from Tohoku University, a world leader in Fracture and Reliability Institute. In this institute, working in electrochemistry and materials interaction. Dr. Robert Finlay, whom I invited to give you a keynote lecture here. Dr. Robert Finlay is directing the Midwest Consortium on Sequestration at the University of Illinois. Dr. George Thomas, a scientist with long experience in the National Laboratory, United States National Laboratory research culture, and of course long experience with the Department of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Office. Professor Ron Adrian, who is one of the world authorities in turbulence, as Professor Kazagi from the University of Tokyo knows. I know Professor Ron Adrian for almost 30 years. He helped me mature as a scientist when I was a young student at the University of Illinois. Professor Ron Adrian is interested in two-phase flows, how CO2 interacts with the ocean, and he kindly offered his help here to help our institute and see how CO2 interacts with ocean. It is a great resource to have on board. Of course, Professor Robert McMeeking, another member of the National Academy of Engineering of the United States, is a world authority in materials, and we shall rely on his wisdom and viewpoints on how our research on materials at the Institute goes. So now this is, as you see, most of the team. I'm already speaking with scientists in Europe, specifically in Germany, and hopefully in the next meeting that we will have, you will see some industrial members here from the industrial work and also from Europe. Okay, our programmatic structure. Our programmatic structure is educational. We want to exchange graduate students, postdocs. We want to have adjunct faculty appointments. As soon as the agreement between the University of Illinois and KÜSU University is in place, my colleagues and I will become adjunct professor at KÜSU and vice versa. Faculty from KÜSU will become adjunct faculty at the University of Illinois, so we can visit, use libraries, use our computer resources, and so on and so forth. We plan to spend sabbaticals here. We plan to send our graduate students. 2 of my students are coming to KÜSU to use this wonderful facility at this coming summer. We've already started. We plan, in general, as I say, to provide the next generation of scientists for the 21st century. Education, we felt at the University of Illinois, we educate our students at our campus in Champaign. Now we get to break those boundaries. We want to get the students to see what is the international experience. They will come here at Kyushu University, and vice versa. Kyushu University students will follow their faculty to come and visit our campus, use our libraries, use our resources. This is the plan. And of course, we want to educate the public through outreach. We want to provide the public with information it needs in order to make sound scientific decisions. Institutional. We want to make changes on how we hire, how we promote, how we advance faculty here at Kyushu University, how we compensate faculty. Since I served at the University of Illinois for many, many years, I have a lot of experience. I have the structure of the University of Illinois behind me. We believe that we can help the Kyushu University by bringing this culture of compensation and of advancement of faculty. We want to do that, all these things, by running high visibility conferences and workshops. We plan to have a workshop 1 year at Kyushu University, 1 year at the University of Illinois. Students from Kyushu University will come to the University of Illinois. Students from the world, from the entire world, will come to Kyushu, will come over here to give presentations. So we want to mingle the international community here at Kyushu University. For instance, the first international conference that we are planning all to organize is the 2012 International Conference on Hydrogen Effects of Materials. I, myself, and Dr. Sommerday and Professor Murakami are the key organizers of this conference. So we've already started organizing international conferences through which we will make I²CNER known to the entire world. I'd like to say that there is no more opportune time for this effort to be launched. As Ms. Emig mentioned, when our President and the Prime Minister of Japan met in November 13, right, they listed here a few subjects, topics, where the two countries are interested in collaborating. And we are doing precisely this in I²CNER. Right? We are working on the next generation of fuel cells. We are working in educating the scientists for the 21st century. We are doing this. So why we believe we will be successful? We have most of the critical partnerships in place. We have, as I said, the Geological Sequestration Consortium of Illinois to help with their experience. We have the University of Berkeley to participate in this effort. We have industrial partnerships. I was last Tuesday, a week ago, at the ExxonMobil Research and Engineering Center at Clinton, New Jersey. They are excited with this effort, and in particular with our sequestration effort, because they are interested in see how they can use our science in dealing with their own empty reservoirs, oil reservoirs, for instance, to pump CO2 over there. So in other words, the engineering world is interested in what we are doing. I'm already in contact with 2 compression technologies. I spoke with the Vice President of the Mohawk Innovative Technology, and the President of this company is here. He will give also a lecture on how this compression technology is a very important technology for the future to be developed. And so you will hear more about that. We are in collaboration with the Livermore Valley Open Campus. The Livermore Valley Open Campus is a project between the 2 U.S. national laboratories, Lawrence Livermore and Sandia, at the Livermore Valley, and those laboratories want to open up their fences and invite the world. So in fact, we are planning to meet there between Illinois and Japan. So 1 year we plan to run a conference at this laboratory there, and we will have Japanese graduate students from Kyushu University giving lectures at these meetings in the Livermore Valley Open Campus. We want to get the students from Kyushu University, graduate students, and expose them to the international community at an international setting. This is very important, and I'd like to draw your attention to this. It is very important for Japanese graduate students to go before the world and be capable of standing before a science audience like ours here. Those of you who have been in these types of meetings, they know what I mean. It is very important. So at I²CNER, we plan to do that. Again, why we shall be successful? We have behind us the Fukuoka Strategy Conference, and in particular, Mr. Aso, the governor of the Kyushu Prefecture. Mr. Aso, I hope, will provide all of the resources that we need to be successful. He is a spirited man. I've met him in the past 5 years through the Hydrogeneous Conference, and I have all the confidence that he will be helping both on financial matters and at the same time with his support, unflagging support, I believe. We have from the United States the support from the Fuel Cell Technologies programs. The director of this program, Sunita Satyapal, has invited me to visit the US Department of Energy on March 7 and make a presentation on how we can align our interests, I²CNER and the Fuel Cell Technology program. We are planning to work very closely with the National Science Foundation. For instance, one of the programs of the National Science Foundations are the International Materials Research Networks. There are already these types of programs, and I know universities like Texas A&M, UCSB have such international programs. I believe we can target Japan, and this is a great opportunity to have an international network. Here, as you see, I'm dreaming now. This is our proposed international network: Kyushu, Illinois, Berkeley, Santia, Imperial College, ETH, Göttingen, and Thessaly, Greece. So this is a wonderful proposal that we can come up jointly amongst our international institutions and present NSF with this wonderful opportunity. Within I²CNER, we plan to expand our activities over and beyond what we are doing. We are planning to use I²CNER as a springboard to do more. What we are planning to do, we are planning to use the culture from the US national laboratories on laboratory directive research and initiatives. In other words, for instance, if I see, let's say, Professor Ishihara comes up with a new futuristic concept on artificial photosynthesis, I plan to tell Professor Ishihara, please submit a white paper, 3 pages, with Professor Rocket or Professor Gilworth from the University of Illinois on these new ideas that you want to do. And we will fund this type of effort to seed these new efforts and then go and claim the territory through our National Science Foundation or the JSPS for additional funding so that we can foster and seed new ideas within I²CNER. We are recruiting faculty, new resources. Here we've already had an announcement in the major magazines of science around the world, and we've already received a tremendous number of applications from all over the world. As you see here, this is for faculty applicants, this is for postdoctoral applicants, and right now we are in the process of interviewing. And how this process will take place, it takes place through the so-called Faculty Recruiting Committee, and this committee is a committee that is made of the leaders of I²CNER who will review all applications, and after we finish the interview process, they will submit their recommendation to the director and to the associate and vice director of the institute, and then in consultation, they will make a decision whom to hire and whom not to hire. So, in other words, we establish a meritocracy aiming process here, how we will do our faculty recruiting through this Faculty Recruiting Committee. Now, I don't want to take more of your time. I would like to show, here I have our thematic areas. Here I have our wonderful team of hydrogen interactions with materials. Again, Dr. Sommerday, who is in the audience, is the division leader of this thematic area. I'm not going to get into the details because the details will be presented to you from the rest of my colleagues who come here to the podium after me. What I would like to do is I would like to finish up with expected accomplishments. As I said, we are expected to impact fundamental, basic science and also technology. This is what we are aiming. This is what is unique about our I²CNER. It is fundamental science, but aimed at enabling technology. And Professor Kuroki wished all his support, wished that we are successful in this effort. I believe we will be successful. I'm confident that we will be successful, not because of me, because I believe we managed to assemble the best team in the world. In this very room today, we are having some of the best scientists in the world. Just by way of example, I can tell you that we have the 2 department heads from the best materials departments in the United States, and we have the department head from the nuclear engineering department, again, the best nuclear engineering department from the United States, and we have Professor Murakami from Kyushu University, director of the leading institute for hydrogen research in the world. So how one cannot be successful by having assembled such a strong team? So Dr. Kuroki, I think I'm confident that we will do it. Thank you very much.
Professor SOFRONIS, I'm sorry. It looks like there is a special gift for you from Professor Murakami.
Well, it wasn't necessary. I think I suspect what it is. You see, Professor Murakami is a great painter. After we finish the symposium, you will get a tour to the hydrogenius, and at some point you will get the opportunity to see his artistic capabilities. And he has almost all of the scientists he has collaborated on the walls of his laboratory. He painted pictures. Of course, I told him, don't do that for me. Do it only after we succeed. That's what I told him. But perhaps to encourage me, to be enthusiastic. So, Professor Murakami, thank you.